What's up, everyone? John here, and in front of me I have VS Code, not Cursor, back to VS Code. I have lost interest in Cursor at this point. The advantage over VS Code plus Claude is minimal. So the good old open source, we love that it's open source, right? Laterally, we love open source. And so in this stream, I'm doing a second playtest. I did a previous playtest. You can check out YouTube under the live streams. It's recorded as the AI TTRPG. So the idea here is that it's like Dungeons and Dragons inspired, but a language model can play the game master. So me, I could solo play a TTRPG, which is like pretty much impossible in the old world. You have to like split your brain and like pretend to be a GM and pretend to be a player. No, I can really have an AI game master, and so I can solo mode a TTRPG, or I can play with friends, and I can actually participate as a player instead of, who's going to be the GM type of thing. So in the previous stream, I did a play test, and it was playable in solo. And the main thing that I want to test here is multiple parties, or multiplayer, basically. So let's see if it works. I totally expect, one, that it won't fully work. I think we're going to run into bugs. That's the whole point of a playtest. And two, if I'm lucky, I may hit my Claude usage limit. So I'm using Opus. Yeah, Opus 4.8. I'm not doing the Fable thing. I think Fable's kind of overhyped. I don't even trust that the Fable that we can use is like the real Fable. I think it got nerfed. Whatever. I love Opus. It works really well. And I'm on the $20 a month Claude, I think it's called Claude Pro level. And I'm thinking that I want to upgrade and spend like $100 or $200 a month personally for me. That's not advice for everyone. One of the validation criteria that will be useful is if I run into my usage limit during the stream in the course of an hour or two. If I'm running out of usage in an hour or two, I need more usage. That's my line of thought. Okay, so let's dive in. Trigger point here, I have a roadmap, by the way, just like kind of geeky technical stuff. How do I know that this is the time that I want to play test? So I did the design with Claude, and we worked up through multi-party play. Now, this is M4. Is this distinct from the architecture? Multiplayer parties is 10. All right, so it says that this is multi-character parties. It says this is done. And here, interesting. A playtester can now run several parties in different places, which was the intended scope here of 11. But for some reason, 11 is not marked green, and is that because of observability? So why is this not marked green? Is it because of observability? Feel free to break that into, I don't think there's an item 12, a distinct item 12. Also, ensure status is aligned to roadmap.md. Which more properly tracks workflow progress. The architecture doc is not meant to be a progress tracking artifact. It's meant to be a quick overview of the app architecture. Okay, update Claude.md as necessary to make this distinction clearer. I think it's already mentioned in the Claude.md, but apparently that didn't work. Okay, so it will start working on that. And in the meantime, we will do a play test and collect feedback. So I'm going to CD to the Cache Maxer RPG. Why is it called Cache Maxer? Because I want to minimize novel calls to the origin model to leverage, get good efficiency out of my token budgets. Alternatively, instead of minimize, you can phrase it as a maximize. I want to maximize caching. If I generate a world, I want to keep using that world, right? For my play experience continuity. I don't want to like keep generating new worlds. If I generate a new monster, then the region that I encounter that monster probably has more of them, right? It's not like I don't want every battle to be unique. That's not a virtue. That's like weird. It's like brain melting. So we would expect that certain regions have like certain, consistent NPCs and buildings and stuff. Okay, so all of that is effectively caching, and there's no need to keep going out to language models for that. So let's open up a different Claude. Here I will go for model sonnet. Model sonnet. Maybe we do a run through with Fable just for the fun, right? Fable can be the game master, and we can see how wacky it is. Thanks for being here, everyone. So I'm going to go model sonnet for this session, and then I will do play. And what it should do is it should tell me the available campaigns. Okay, so Claude is working over there. Do I want to resume existing save or start a new game? I'd like to start a new game. You can see I used that foo seed, so it found the save file, right? Which campaign do you want to play? Let's do Yogg Slime Kitchen. This is the same that we did last time, if y'all were around for that. I like the lore. I made it up, so of course I like it, right? But I like the lore of this game. How should combat be presented? Let's do TTRPG. How should combat be presented? There should be suggested defaults on this stuff, by the way. All of the game startup wizard stages or forms should include a recommended option. Which is truest, which is whatever. Let's go for that. I'll wait, but I'll just mention that when it comes ready. So let's go for the TTRPG style. And it keeps committing. Please stop committing stuff. I want to review the code pre-commit. Again, update Claude .md if this isn't clear, but I think it's already clearly stated. Okay, so what we have here is a case of repeated non-compliance. You could also just call this like being stupid. Claude is being stupid. So this is a smell or an indication that I might want to clear or consolidate my chat session or start a new chat session. Because often what these failure to comply or repeated like serial correlated errors, like errors of the same kind in the same session, this is often attributable to context pollution. Something is in Claude's context and its memory, its working memory, where it keeps thinking that that's the right thing and it's getting reinforced inappropriately. So purging context is often a really great fix for that. All right, so here's the game session. I think I already mentioned it, but in case I didn't mention it, we'll be juggling between the play session, the play test, collecting notes, collecting feedback, and going over to the other Opus terminal to actually provide that feedback or say like, hey, like in parallel, concurrently, try to improve X, Y, or Z. So if you're looking for like an outright like gameplay session, this one is more of a mix of a play test, kind of like a technical play test. That being said, drop a comment in the chat if there's a particular move that you want me to play, because it's on now. Bean Daddy, welcome in. Thank you so much for the heart. 17 likes. Appreciate y'all on TikTok. I think, am I doing the full screen to TikTok? I don't actually know how I'm casting right now, but if the screen is hard to see on your TikTok, you can go over to YouTube and you should be able to see the full screen. I think I didn't turn on the dual streaming for mobile mode for this stream. All right, so session started. The wind carries the smell of wood smoke. Yeah, it's sideways full screen. Okay, I think that's good, right? What do you think? Let me know. I don't know, like, is the text readable and stuff? I can kind of zoom in as well. Maybe that's better, I'm not sure. All right. The wind carries the smell of wood smoke and something faintly sweet, like sugar left too long over a flame. I like the Claude Sonnet model for game sessions because it does a great job. It's a relatively cheap and fast model, but it's just good with the narration. Okay, like sugar left over a flame. You're standing atop rolling hills, grass hissing in the breeze. Just ahead, a small town huddles in the hollow below. But you're not alone up here. Something is wobbling toward you through the grass, jiggling with every step like a dropped bowl of gelatin. A slime. It doesn't look like much. If anything, it looks harmless. What do you do? Can it talk? What's up, buddy? I say. Let's try to talk to the slime. Look at this. So it's calling the PNPM game step CLI. So we're using the language model as an interface to a deterministic game engine, right? This is all on purpose. So we go through the CLI, and that allows the caching layer to become effective with pre and post processing, deterministic checks, guardrails, all the sauce, baby. That is some of the secret sauce. What's up, buddy? You try. The slime just quivers. It lets out a soft, wet burble. It lets out a burble. What's a burble, dog? It lets out a burble. Not a word, not even close. Just sound like air bubbling through jelly. No eyes you can find. No eyes. Oh, weird. No face to speak of. Nothing that looks back at you with any glint of understanding. Whatever it isn't going to hold up its end of the conversation. What do you do? I try to take it with me and head toward the town. We're going to kidnap this slime. I have no idea how the game engine is going to react to this. Can I just pick up a slime? I have no idea. authored companion jelly. Nice. Gelly. So it's my companion now. You reach for the slime, half expecting it to bolt or lash out. It doesn't. It just settles into your palm like a... I have a buddy now, dog! Look at that! It's not a blue jelly monster. It's a companion jelly. You cradle it against your chest and it wobbles happily, or at least it doesn't complain. As you start down the hillside toward the town below, you decide to call it Jelly. Metagame. Like, can I see my party stat sheet? What kind of health and abilities does Jelly have? See, this is part of the playtest. I'm actually not sure if stat sheets are visible through this CLI tool. Nice, let's go! So I have a fireball. Let's go. Jelly's sturdier than she looks. 30 HP is nothing to sneeze at for a harmless slime. Yeah, right? It's a she? Oh. Did that call a skill, by the way? Input status, player message. Da, 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 da. I don't know how that's being processed on the other side. Isn't that weird? Input look. Yeah, fine. Okay. Let's go to the town. Ouch. Now, what kind of a user experience do I expect here? Let's go to the town. Did it already tell me if that's northeast, whatever? I don't want this over literal CLI where it's like, I can't take you to the town. You need to tell me northwest, east, or south. Well, look around. My character can clearly see, okay? It says just ahead, a small town. But it doesn't tell me what direction. So I'm assuming that the game engine can put 2 and 2 together through natural language. If it can't, that's a problem. A lot that's happening here is valid, but kind of ugly, right? Like bash calls. I want a CLI that kind of obfuscates this stuff. Even for a text sort of thing. So I guess I really don't want to use the terminal literal. Yeah, so terminal literal, let's make it not the recommended default UI. Let me get a snippet that kind of makes more sense. Let's go to the town. Okay, I'm playtesting in another shell. Can I paste the image? No. Where's the image? Okay, I'll save to desktop, or I'll save to documents. I don't know where I'm gonna save. I'll save it to pictures, I guess. This is going to be, what's the date? 7:54 p.m. ET. Playtest. AI TTRPG image. Cool. All right. On Mac, I think I can just paste off the clipboard, but I guess I can't do that over here. So let me drag it. I think I can still drag it. See the attached image. Okay. All of these bash calls are useful and expected, technically, but they are unsightly and poor UX. I think this means we should have the web UI, not the Claude session literal. As the default UX. Do you agree? Alternatively, we can do some processing inside the CLI, behind the scenes, or some Claude code customization to obfuscate the text, but that seems less attractive to me. With a web UI, we could elect which rows of text are rendered. And let me specify, yeah, UI kind of already implies client, but let me specify the client. To the client. With the web UI, we could also do like colors and stuff. We could also do potentially easier text coloration, colors and such. Okay, stew on that, Opus. Let me know your thoughts. Back to the game for me. Appreciate the likes, TikTok, over 150 likes. And if you would like to suggest what I should do on the next turn, just drop a comment. Just drop a comment. All right, so hillside path spills onto the packed dirt lanes of Rayfin Crossing, a modest waypoint town of timber and thatch, smoke curling from a few chimneys despite the hour. By the way, one of the things that I'm not enjoying about this UX is I'm not seeing the die rolls, right? I picked the TTRPG mode. How core. Look, it feels like a small detail, and maybe it is, especially if you're not from RPG World. But if you're from RPG World, baby, I want to see the die roll. It's emotional to see that. Is it going to be 6? Is it going to be a 9? Is it going to be a 19? Are we going to pass the check? I need to have some added latency intentionally added for the user experience. I want to see a little die roll animation. It can be an ASCII animation. It can be an ASCII die roll. That's fine. But hiding it back behind the bash stuff is, it's not giving me the user experience that I want. It's not delightful. It's not delightful. Okay. So I presume the fact that we got there means we passed some check, but I didn't get to see the die roll. Jelly wobbles along at the side. What do? A shopkeeper named Ren keeps glancing back toward the old hills you just came down. A few doors down, old Thomas leans in the frame. Like, why am I here, dude? Part of the problem from a campaign perspective is the opening hook is not perspicuous enough. It's like, okay, a jelly showed up, so what? Like, so what? So I think part of this is I'm going to modify the campaign. Whenever there's the opening scene, it's like you smell some sugar or something. Like sugar left too long over a flame. So one thing that could be the case, a couple things could be the case. One is, it's not a nice, happy, buddy jelly. It's like a mean jelly. All right, and then it's like, oh no, we're getting attacked by mean jellies. I gotta save the day, right? So that's kind of like obvious hero quest vibes. Two is the faintly sweet smell. I get hit with hunger. Like, oh, I'm so hungry. I need to go wherever the smell is and get some food stat. And then we show up to the town. We're like, hey, can I get some food? They're like, by the way, we're being attacked. Help us. That makes sense. Third option, this jelly is, maybe it's a nice jelly, but it's trying to talk to me. It's trying to say something. And so the quest is like, figure out what the jelly is saying, right? It's kind of too open-ended, this campaign. So let me add this feedback. The campaign, the Yogg campaign, the Yogg kitchen campaign, opening is too open-ended. The narrative needs to have some urgency and intentionality from the opening scene. Here are a few candidates. Up to you whether we pick one or suggest perhaps all three or a fourth, or introduce some meta campaign R&D that randomizes a single selection from several options. Okay, one, the jelly is not nice. He's mean. He attacks. Immediate impression. Oh no, I have to get to safety and get away from the jellies. We run to town and they are afraid too. Classic hero story vibes. We have to save the region from the terror of jellies. From the terror of the slimes. Okay, cool. Option two, the jelly can be nice, as he is in my current session. But he can't also be, but he also has something to say. But he also has something to say, even if we can't communicate well at first. He's trying to say something and sort of indicating we need to do something. There's a narrative drive to figure out the mystery and help the jelly and help the slime. Help the slime communicate. Okay, what was the third one I gave? So one is like he's mean, two is like he's trying to say something, and three, oh, the pang of hunger. The opening scene, mentions the smell of sugar. Perhaps this triggers an urgent pang of hunger. The player should go seek food in the town where a smell of good food let's see. Is the smell coming from the dungeon or is it coming from the town? The player should go seek food. And the smell should continue to haunt him. Either he runs to a town and discovers they are under terror of jellies and need help, or the player visits the dungeon early game, and experiences the danger of the jellies firsthand. Optional narrative encounter with Yogg. Okay, so that's another option. Another wrinkle in any of these to steer the player could be that after K turns, perhaps. Oh yeah, could be that he just runs into a stranger in the wilderness. Another wrinkle in any of these to steer the player could be that after K turns, if the player has not yet visited town, he runs into a distressed person in the wilderness who mentions the need to save the town from the jellies. Anyway, I think maybe K can be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. All right. So I'm leaving that feedback. What I'd actually do, pragmatic sequencing. Same UI, but the server owns the loop and calls server-side narration provider. Yeah, this sounds good. Please update GitHub issues and create as necessary. Then pick up the implementation on the first issue. Okay, let's keep going. How much money do I have, by the way? Potions. just got 2 potions. I don't know what kind of potions they are. I go to the shopkeep and ask what items they have for sale. I also ask what they would pay me for my potions, if anything. So I can see lots of things are not being added to the session JSON-L. For example, that help call was not logged. And was the turn ID was added to this log? Here's session ID, but not turn ID. Also note, also backlog an item on observability. Feedback skill currently appears to log the session ID, but not the most recent turn of the session at feedback time. I think that is a helpful addition. Further, when the AIGM calls this, it is not saved to the session.jsonl file. I think these calls should also be logged, as they are important signal for potential system improvements. System or instruction improvements. Sweet. So I want to see it create a bunch of GitHub issues there. All right, Ren looks up from her stall. Not much stock with the roads the way they are. She admits gesturing at a modest table, coil of rope, couple torches, a whetstone, some drive and travel ranges, and one banged up buckler. As for potions, I'll take them off your hands. Sure, but I can't pay what they're worth right now. Ask her what she means with the roads the way they are. I'd trade a potion or I trade my potions for the buckler if she's interested. or perhaps helping with the roads could count as work she might compensate me for. Also mentioned that I've had no trouble with jelly, though I can't understand the thing. Anyway, and I have no training in beast mastery or mind reading. But if it gets reckless, I'll put it down. Still 150 likes on TikTok. I bet we can do more than that. Topic set to education. Is there an and multi-party? Look, game dev, AI RPG. What other topics do you have? Is there programming, education, gaming, chat, and interview? I guess it counts as gaming. I don't know. Putting this stream under the education, I think it's just boring to people. I'll leave it there. Rin's shoulders drop a little at the question. Slimes, she says, like the word itself tastes bad. Started a few weeks back. Blue ones mostly harmless looking, but they're thick along the road east and north now. Merchant caravans have stopped coming through twice a week like they used to. Some folks say they've seen redder ones. Nobody knows where they're coming from. It's bad for business and worse for nerves. Keep those. Out here, healing's worth more than any buckler. She nudges the banged up shield towards you. Oh, thanks, old lady. If you're willing to actually do something about the slimes on the road, thin them out, whatever it takes, that's worth a lot more than a trade. Consider it a down payment. You've picked up a buckler. I walk outside and have a firm chat with Jelly. We're gonna have to put down some slimes. Are you okay with that? Or we're going to need a way to convince them all to stay off the roads and leave humans alone. Off the roads and leave the humans alone. I also inspect my stats having equipped the buckler. Let's see if Jelly can understand me. Jelly might not understand until I have to go put one down. So the defense is 9. Defense is 9. And what was it previously? So my defense is not any higher. Whatever it's worth, it's not doing anything for you mechanically yet. Feedback. I find it weird that I'm carrying a buckler. And it does nothing for my stat sheet. And I say having equipped it, right? I even prompted, I also inspect my stats having equipped the buckler, but stats indicated it was being carried, not equipped. There seems to be some gap there. Yeah, it shouldn't. Is the buckler so crappy that it doesn't change my defense at all? When the system creates a buckler, is it getting any stats? Okay, boom. Okay, so what happened with Jelly? For a second, it just sits there unnervingly still, like it's actually listening or bracing. Then it gives a slow, single bob, top to bottom, before resuming its usual restless jiggle. Whether that was agreement or gravity, you genuinely can't say. I'm taking that as a nod. I'm with Jelly, Team Jelly. All right, let's go tangle up with a few jellies. And she said it's toward the east, yeah? I've got a degree in slime whispering. Okay, take it if you're willing to actually do... Where is it? I think she said towards the east. Some folks say they've seen redder ones further out. Fine. Blue ones, mostly harmless, along the road to the east and north now. So I'm going to beeline it to the east. Okay. Rin said the jellies, the slimes were trouble along the road to the east and north. Let's make east of town and try to take 3 slimes out by sundown. Let's go. You push east along the road, Jelly wobbling in your wake. Hills roll on ahead, swampy lowland creeping in to the south. And before you've gone far, a slime rises out of the roadside brush to block the way. Some indistinct color in the morning haze. You don't hesitate, a hard shove and warning strike. Sends it sloughing back off the road. What does sloughing mean? Sloughing, is that a chat? Is sloughing a word? What? Am I getting trolled right now? What is sloughing, dude? You've pushed east along the road, Jelly wobbling in your wake, hills roll on ahead, swampy lowland creeping into the south. Ew, gross. A slime rises out of the roadside to block the way. Some indistinct color. That's interesting. Okay, so it's not a blue slime. You don't hesitate. A hard shove and warning strike. Rolled a 13 against DC 13. See, this is kind of interesting. Like, thanks for letting me know. Sloughing back off the road in a startled retreat. It didn't go down, though. It fled back into the brush rather than fighting to the end. Well, give me my XP, dog. Okay, this is just not the battle experience that I'm looking for. Okay, consider this partial playtest log. This is not the the user experience that I expect when I select TTRPG for the game mode. I expect, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Dang. Resume what you were doing before, and I'll provide a better follow-up prompt for later. That's one thing that I would like there to be, is like some way to queue the next instruction. I expect 1, turn-by-turn combat with the ability to choose moves. 2, I'd like die rolls at each turn. 3, should I not expect some post-battle post? Your message looks cut off. Wait, did you not get the prompt where I said like sorry and whatever? Dang. I was really clumsy there. Some post-battle report with any gold and experience gain. I like die rolls at each turn with technical details like damage and remaining health. Let's see. I actually don't know if low level health points are typically revealed. Up to you whether this is a low level technical health point report or a la JRPG, or more of a narrative report. He looks badly damaged. Perhaps enable JRPG. Let's see. Perhaps enable TTRPG as a game mode to distinguish. Should I not expect some post-battle report and experience gain and loot drops or lack thereof? Okay. Sorry for the interruption to your work, by the way. Feel free to backlog this and resume whatever you were doing before. Or if you can quick fix this, yeah. Let's do it like that. Very, very clumsy of you, boy. I should have used the feedback mechanism and I didn't do that. That's on me. Okay, anyway. You push east along the road, jelly. So we fought this thing. Sundown's still a good ways off. Oh, morning's settling in now. Keep pushing east. It's patrol time, baby. Man, it made my guy auto attack without me even asking. I wonder if auto battle is enabled by default. Okay, feedback. I'm currently wondering if auto battle is on by default. If so, then I'm seeing I don't like this experience. I also was not explicitly asked during campaign setup launch wizard time, or what am I even doing? I went to the gym and had a pretty good workout. I'm going to blame it on that. My brain is half braining. Okay, this is what detailed mode already does. The expedited modes are one roll. The mismatch is naming expectation. Okay, so I just picked the wrong. Yeah. Yes, and this makes sense. So perhaps we need a one-sentence description along with the option to choose at setup time. Remind the player of what each option means. Okay, so basically I picked the wrong mode. So when I picked TTRPG, that is a mislabel, really, if you ask me, because TTRPG does not mean, and you sit down, you do a tabletop game, that does not mean you resolve the battle in one roll. But that appears to be what's going on. Feedback. TTRPG does not mean resolve battle in one roll. Reflect on how D&D and other real D20 TTRPGs work, and revise the labels of each game mode. Perhaps detailed and TTRPG are mislabeled, or anyway, the distinction is not clear. Resolving battle in one roll is an interesting option, but it needs to be separately named. And the system is mentioning that here, by the way, a little bit of metagame. All right, cool. Well, that's the point of playtesting. So I'm learning that there was a bad label there. Feedback saved, category UX session, YOG session 1, logged the naming complaint. Did you want to switch to detailed combat going forward? Let's try. Yes, let's switch to detailed combat going forward. Very cool, by the way. I mean, I know that I built it, but let's just see if it works. Very cool if on-the-fly battle system switch, if this switch is effective. That'll be very cool. Okay, the road bends, the grass underfoot, the ground underfoot starts going soft and wet, hills giving way to swamp, dead ahead. The road bends. Well, I want to follow the road. I want to follow the road. Like weather before a storm, jelly goes rigid at your side. You notice color creeping into the slimes near the tree line. No longer the placid blue, but a duller, angrier red. Turns out I can't actually do that. I checked. Okay. Yeah, so we can't switch mid-session. Maybe we can do that in the future. Keep this save. Keep this save. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I appreciate the learnings, baby. Sonnet, you don't need to feel bad. Let's see. East ahead is swamp now. Push forward or scout in another direction. My intent is to follow the road. Though, I'd like to fight one of those red slimes first. So for now, I think we push into the swamp. Notice how different this is than a classic mud. At no point did I explicitly use the technical command move east, which would be the old multi-user dungeons. You would need to get that command line term precise. I totally answered around. I danced around the answer to the question. But it should understand that my intent is to move east. You step off solid ground and into the swamp proper. Perfect. The road here is barely a road anymore. A raised spine of half-sunken logs and packed reed. Nothing picked a fight with you on the way in. If you want a guaranteed scrap instead of waiting for one to ambush you, you can say fight. A little bit of metagame, but whatever. I'll take it. Foe wounds you 3 damage. Okay, this is fine. Now, this is a strange experience as well. What this should do is it should, trigger a chance for a fight, right? In a real TTRPG, you can't actually do a guaranteed fight like that. This one doesn't run. A red slime rears out of a black pool and fast. Then it has any right to be. Twice you go in for a solid hit, and twice it's already moving, lashing a pseudopod. It lashed a pseudopod across my ribs. Nothing serious yet, 42, 48, but it stings and shows no sign of backing down. Okay, so this is a little bit better. It's more so turn by turn, right? Keep swinging. Keep swinging. I think another advantage of putting the UX behind, putting the game engine behind a web UI, besides the fact that I can better control the UI, is I can use cheaper models during combat when there are a smaller range of valid actions. And let's backlog the ability to... Do I even want to model at all? Okay, just keep cooking, Opus. I'll think about it more. Yes. Hi.
Hi. Mom wanted to know what you wanted to eat.
Anything?
Yeah.
Well, I would like a meat.
Well, she meant she doesn't know what place you're ordering from or not.
How about Chipotle or Five Guys or the hot chicken?
Oh, you know I like Five Guys.
Or chicken wings. Those are the 4 options. What are they?
Five Guys. Five Guys.
No, but I had 4 options. What are the 4 options?
Five Guys?
Mm-hmm.
Chicken wings?
Mm-hmm.
Meat?
Hot chicken.
Chicken.
All right, I'll text your mom. Thank you for letting me know, Ellie. Love you.
No, please stop. We're ordering. Can I get Five Guys? Where you go?
Five Guys, hot chicken, chicken wings. I forgot what the other one was going to be.
Uh-oh, for me.
I guess I didn't want it that much if I forgot what it was. Five Guys, or Chipotle. All right, cool. All right, you time it right this time. When the slime lunges, you're already stepping past the strike. Nice. Your blade comes down solid and true. Roll. How does one even roll a D21? All right, time to use that metagame. How does one roll D21? Is this after bonuses? It's D20, not a D21. The raw die came up 18 plus your bonus. Cool. Cool, it's all good, okay. Poor Sonnet feels bad. Do I want it to have a non-apologetic tone? Sound like a typical GM and be a prick. No, that's all fine. Okay, this one's down for real. Again, nothing in terms of like experience, post-battle report. I'm not a fan of this TTRPG mode. Cool. I think we can pause the playtest here. So let's end this one. And I'm going to do a whole new playtest. What's the cheaper model, Sonnet or Haiku? Claude, cheaper model, Sonnet or Haiku? I think it's Haiku, right? Haiku is about 4 times cheaper. So let's do that. Model Haiku 4.5. Or let's just do Haiku. And it's automatically 4.5. Great, thank you. What is this get reset? Unstage all? I want to make sure I don't accidentally sweep your playtest data into any future commit. No. Feedback.jsonl is not to be considered playtest not to be, let me use a positive instruction, is valid to commit. Session data should be ignored by .getIgnore syntax. I guess you can, I don't know the value of the metagame. Okay, let's look at the change. Let's look at the change on all this stuff since I'm about to make a commit. The user reviews proposed changes between every commit. Yeah, that's a bad instruction. The user reviews proposed changes pre-commit. Yes. Good job, Claude. Good job, good job. A prior go ahead and commit covers that commit only. Good job, Claude. Very happy with you. Okay, run the setup wizard. Right, indeed. Detailed. Recommended the true TTRPG. See, isn't this confusing? Detailed is the true TTRPG experience. TTRPG is the not true. It's the fake experience. So, gosh. Okay, that threw me. Not gonna lie. All right, cool. Narrative. Looks good to me. Looks good to me. All right. I'm happy with all that. Load transcript? What? The player-facing story. Sure. What is all this doc type stuff, dude? This is for the visualization. Okay. We can go with that for now. Story here. I don't see a change. This is a wholly new file. Player-facing story feed. Oh, nice. This is what I was talking about, actually. Cool. So it'll be nice to play test that whenever we can. Yeah, this all looks good to me. So what are we, this is actually like a few different things. So this is feat, better instructions, and better viz for game session. Whoa, cancel. Push and pull. Nope, don't do that. Just push. Everything's already pushed. We're good. The changes look great. And I pushed A bunch. Status. Get status is now clear. Continue to iterate on the roadmap.
Dad,
What, Sam?
what flavor links?
Yeah, I'm answering it right now.
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to do a play test with haiku. So let's try it, babe. Boom. I'm set up as your game master for Cash Max or RPG. I can do the do. New session, please. I like how straightforward that was. So maybe haiku is going to be a little less creative, but maybe that's not a bad thing for instruction following, for interoperating with a CLI game engine. Maybe we like haiku more. Yog, please. Does it understand that? I said yog, please. Maybe this haiku is going to be... Oh no, he gets it. Perfect. You're heading into the slime kitchen. Detailed. Let's go. Some of these prompts, admittedly, I'm prompting it like a dummy as part of the battle testing. Hell yeah, full tactical combat it is. Okay? Recommended to start. Let's do a metagame question. Does difficulty scale? When I pick, I don't even care. Let me ask, okay. I'm going to just pick two. Let's pick two. How should the story end? Canonical. Did I spell that right? Canonical. Yeah. Excellent. Authored story it is. Last thing, seed. Optional. Poopy doopy. Poopy doopy. All right. Cool. Looks good to me. Compound command contains CD. Manual approval required. Yeah, that's fine. That's going to be another... See, that's not great user experience. That's not great user experience. I like that we're doing this because it documents the user experience gaps that we're trying to solve. Yagni, right? Why are we moving to a web UI? There's reasons, dog, and it's documented in these videos. Does the roadmap indicate the intended order of issue solution? Because I don't think it does, but it should. Oh, scheduled out of backlog. Does the roadmap indicate the intended order of issue solutions? I don't see a clear unified list, and I would like one. 43 for now looks good. Is smart. Okay, and maybe Opus is overkill for these changes. I don't know. Anyway. Your 2 travelers on the roads of Evergreen. What is the... It says I have the full lore locked in, which is making me think, what is the context window for Haiku? Haiku... Yeah, context window. Specifically 4.5, but maybe that's by assumption. 200k on 3.5. How about 4.5? 200k context window. 3.5 to 4.5 is the same context window. Anthropic, pick it up, baby. Pick it up, baby. I remember when we just kept growing the context window, and now they just said, we're good. We're good. We don't, what do we need more than 200k for? What would we need that for? All right. Your 2 travelers on the roads of Evergreen. The road itself is quiet, but something feels off. Tavern talk in the last town spoke of slimes, weird, gelatinous things, and sickly colors infesting the roads and fields. No one really knows where they come from or why, and then you see one. This is a weird, I don't think that I like this. Maybe I do. I don't know. The muddiness of the game is something I'm still trying to fine tune, because I can go boom, exclamation, and run the technical command, which is giving very, very mud vibes. Infesting the roads. So I'm to assume it's basically an insect then. Yeah? Why would I not smack it down? I smack the blob. I smack the blob. Poopy doopy not safe. You're facing a red oh gosh. What? Wait, what happened here, dude? This is weird. It wobbles into view, a small translucent blob, soft, harmless blue. So, okay, so it gets mad at me and turns red? Is that what happens? Okay, fist raised. I didn't even check if I have a sword. This is how dumb I was. Check status. I don't know. My skills or items or anything. Maybe just wail on it. We're just like punching this blob. Gotta be the worst way to start. Okay, your hero. But I thought I have 2 party members. I just have 1 hero. Cast Firebolt. Can I do that literally? Cast Firebolt. That's not going to do anything literally, right? Yeah. It laughed at me, bro. Bro laughed at me. You can't cast commands in Bash, you silly human. You thrust your palm forward and ignite the air. A brilliant firebolt erupts. Cool. Oh, it only took 2 MP. We're doing that again. Burn them again! Victory! 11 gold, 11 XP. Nice. Little battle report going on. I thought there were 2 of us. You're absolutely right. You should have 2. Let me check the save. Looking at the state, I see only 1 character. The player's 2 means you can control 2 characters, but the second one hasn't been recruited yet. I do like the rundown. Feedback. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, for now, let me get your second player in the game so you can actually play as 2. For now, I'll pick someone up in town, or try to. So let's keep playing the campaign as is. Onward to town. Store that feedback. Order of work, we'll store this order of work. Whatever it chose, I'm happy with. I just wanted to have some order of work. Okay, another red slime erupts. It blocks your path. My MP is 1214. Did I get a free burn in Nationisms? Feedback. So metagame. Let's do this metagame. How is my MP 12? I casted Fireball twice in the last battle. Did some recoup between battles? Or was there a lack of expenditure of MP in the final round of the last combat for some reason? Great question. Let me check the engine to see how Firebolt's MP cost works. I don't know why I made you sound like that, Haiku. I do like, it appears that Haiku is faster, more concise, and so far, I'm not feeling any kind of like narrative failure. It is a little more forward with the metagame. It's a different flavor. It's a different flavor. Short answer, should cost 4 MP. You should be at 614 MP, not 12. Looks like either auto recovery between battles or a tracking discrepancy. I've logged it for the devs to check. How did you log it, homie? Good. Metagame text. Okay. So hold on. This is not good. Feedback. Don't do that. I just want to refresh. Where's the metagame text? Yo. This was not logged. This was not effectively logged. Oh, it's gone into the metagame file, which is not in the version control. Okay. Feedback. 2 issues. 1, that whole thing. Issue 2, the AI assistant attempted to submit feedback via the metagame skill, which does not result in version-controlled feedback. This shouldn't happen. The AI assistant should... We either need to change instructions. We either need to change instructions. Okay, hold on. There's a few things that can happen. We either need to, A, version control the metagame text, or B, instruct the AI GM that they can suggest feedback, but they should not write it autonomously. Okay, or C, instruct the AIGM to use the feedback mechanism for cases like this. And we should have metadata support to distinguish AIGM feedback from player feedback. I think that works for me. What do you think, chat? Comments, welcome. Still 157 likes on TikTok. So that's a span of what, 20 minutes without a like. Bummerville. Let's get some likes going on. And good news is my camera hasn't cut yet and the usage hasn't cut yet, and we're going on an hour 30 here. Okay. Back to the game. You're facing the second red slime. Cast Firebolt. So this entire like JRPG subroutine is something that I should be able to handle without requiring a natural language interface. And that's just costing tokens. It's costing tokens, and it didn't use any magic MP at all. Fight. Now I have a weapon. That's good. Blade drives deep into the red slime, explodes. I do like the use of capitalization here. It's done well. Status. My HP is 34, out of magic points. Somehow, it wasn't like updating or whatever. Let's go to town and rest. I really like the commentary on the stat sheet. I like that, not gonna lie. Recovery complete, gold, still have it. It's free? I talked to the innkeeper. Homie, you let me sleep here for free? You got a crush on me or what? A grizzled woman in her 50s. Whoopsie! My bad. Free? Oh, you paid, friend. Gave me 12 of your gold pieces. You just don't remember. You were half asleep when you stumbled in. What? I like my heroes useful. You killed 2 of those red slimes on the road. That's worth a bet in my book. Aw, thanks, bestie. You looking for work or just passing through? Before answering, I check my a status, and inventory. How much gold do I have? Right now. She like took my gold like when I wasn't looking or something? Because this says 19 right here. Right? 19. 19. This is such a ridiculous game session. I love it. It's like everything is like not aligned. 19, you're good. You looted 11 from the first slime and 8 from the second, bringing you to mention you paid 12 while you're in. So either it was free despite what she said, or there's a tracking quirk. Either way, you're solvent. We're gonna log that. Whenever a game state misalignment is observed by the players and AIGM, I think the AIGM should have the ability to forcibly update game state by tool calling as an option, not done automatically. Let's backlog the tools to enable this. One tool might just be rewind time to last checkpoint. So we don't need to patch everything necessarily. We can go back to a known valid state. We're getting so much feedback. Don't you love it? Okay, the innkeeper's still waiting in the bar. She raises an eyebrows. Well, you got a story or what? I am a super cool hero in training. Whatever, I'll get my license soon. And I heard in the last town that this town is being assaulted by slimes. So yeah, I'm here to either beat up a bunch of slimes or find where they're coming from and cure them at the source. I also thought about learning slime control magic and just, you know, getting a limitless army where I can take them away from bothering y'all and help me do hero things. But I'm pretty new to magic, and I don't know how to mind control a slime. What would you recommend? Any insights? Know any other adventurers looking to join up in a super cool party for fame and glory? And training, yeah, I can tell. You've got guts, and you already put 2 of those red bastards in the dirt today. Oh my goodness, you said a bad word! Claude Haiku, you baddie. She scratches. Here's what I know. The slimes appearing about 3 weeks ago. Okay, at first they're harmless, and then they got angry. Like someone's making them. Or breeding them. But what direction? Like, they're just, no one knows. Okay. She glances and lowers the voice. As for controlling them, that's ambitious. I've never heard of anyone doing that. They don't seem smart enough to control. They're just rage and hunger. But there's a scholar in the back corner over there. A hooded figure called Kess. How convenient. A mercenary mage. Let's talk to Kess. I talked to Kess. Hey, so you wanna find it? Oh, let me not make presumptions. Hey, so do you know about these slimes? I'm trying to help the town get rid of them. Let's see. She studies you for a moment, then closes her book with a soft thump. A book talk girl, eh? Sit. Why bossy, cuss? She leans, tapping her fingernails on the journal. Here's what I figured out from talking to survivors and studying the ones that didn't dissolve. They're not natural. They move with purpose, almost like there's something guiding them. They're following the same hunger. What hunger? You killed 2 red slimes today. The innkeeper mentioned you. That means you're either very lucky or actually competent. What's your plan? Okay, first of all, I'm super competent. I'm top 3% in the Hero Academy senior class. Are you just going to hunt them one by one forever, or are you looking for the source? As a competent and very smart hero, of course I want to solve the issue at the source. However, I might fight one by one for a while to gather experience and money and learn more about them. If I had a super smart, pretty mage on my team, I think we could make progress faster. Any interest in joining? You can have a bunch of the money, of course. I'm more so interested in fame and glory than the material of this world. I've been stuck in this town for 2 weeks watching the slimes get redder and angrier. I hate mysteries, especially the ones that move and bite. The money's nice, sure, but you're right, fame and glory are better. Period. I'm in. All right, cool. So thanks for joining my party, but where are we going, girl? So, okay, so she doesn't know. So she's like, I'll do you the privilege of joining your team. I have no idea what's going on either. Let's look at status. What items and abilities does Kess have? Oh, no abilities. Interesting. She's a mage with no spells. Girl, what? Feedback. I had a self-described mage join my party. She has no spells. Possibly, this is narratively intentional, and she is a sneaky liar girl. Alternatively, there might be a bug in the game or like character generation and authoring stuff. Please look into it. I'm assuming usually mages have spells. Either she's a con artist, which would be hilarious, or there's a provisioning gap. Okay, I'm gonna pause it there, chat, and please follow the page. I'll try to resume this. Let's see. Or should I take a few turns now that I have two people in the party? I guess I want to playtest that because the next stream I actually want to have someone else on to play. And I haven't actually. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do a few rounds. For now, let's go fight some. Okay, hold on. Yeah, first, I say, Kess, girl, what is this? Are you even really a mage? If you're actually a thief, just say that. Do you have any inventory? If you're actually a thief, just say that, and I'll get you a dagger. Okay, you got me. I'm not exactly a mage. Or I'm a mage in training. Same with, okay, sure, here, okay. But yeah, I'm much better at stabbing things in the back than casting spells. Sorry for the misdirect. I figured you'd be much more impressed with a mage than a thief. But hey, you seem chill about it. And honestly, a thief and a fire mage is a better combo anyway. Oh yeah, I'm the fire mage. Okay, I was like, but you're not a thief and a fire mage. Okay. A rogue with a scholarly bent. Very nice. Okay, cool. Let's go. Okay, hold on. I check status. Does she now have a dagger equipped? The GM is just like doing the best it can, but we don't have the tools to like. It's just so misaligned. Mechanically, the dagger is a narrative flavor. Okay. Okay, so there is already instruction about this. I know that. There is already instruction that the AIGM should state the facts as represented in the game engine, or innovate and commit, including an update to game engine state. Log this as a test case where the instructions are not super effective and possibly need to be reworked. All right, so we have another eval case. That's good. Implemented, great. Let's prioritize observability. Number 42 can be demoted to later. The detailed mode is already working pretty well. And most of the poor UX came from mislabeling and misunderstanding what TTRPG mode means. You're right, I innovated the dagger but didn't commit it. Let me fix that before we continue. I'll author Kess some thief abilities so she can actually fight. Goal. Oh, unknown option. Boom. Edit the save file directly. Interesting. Okay, so I still have some money. Let's visit the town shop and see if there are any weapons for sale. So is it going to be actually the case that I can't? Yeah, equipment is not effective. Okay, this is the real thing that we need to prioritize. Where's the in-depth? Did we already take care of the in-depth combat or whatever? I'm seeing that I can't purchase and equip a weapon from a store during a playtest. Or I may equip a weapon, but it yields no stat change. This, the whole items, equipment, and ability system seems to be missing a component of dynamic change support during gameplay. Let's define this issue if it doesn't already exist and prioritize fixing this. XP gain. Okay, so the main feature here, feat, is XP post-battle report. And more feedback. So are you seeing the feedback loop where we can keep making the game better? It's like you play test it, you find some issues, you log them, you fix them, play it again, right? And then you can do a user experience study with other users, but why are you bothering other users when you're not even happy with the application you have? Be it a game, be it any other software. Get it to pass your own smell test. Like, hey, I use the dog feeding is so great. Dog fooding is so great. And that can mean build a tool that you actually use, or it can mean build a game that you actually want to play, right? It can be some sort of experience that you actually have stakeholder skin in the game. And it's like, hey, I am a user and I'm happy with it. Now let's share it out. Otherwise, why are you building something you can't relate to? You can't even empathize with the actual customer. You don't know what to do next. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't even care. Like, that's a bad project for you to be working on. Back to the game session. Longsword, healing potions, but there's no prices. Iron dagger for the lady. What just happened? Iron dagger for the lady. Good choice. Paired set, well-balanced steel. That'll hold an edge. 8 gold. Bro, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to the changelog? I'm so confused. Okay. Sure. But whatever. We're just freeballing it now. So that the haiku thinks it can just freely edit the game log and it will just make stuff happen. That's fantastic. There's no deduct event. Also, it appears there is no deduct support for gold. I.e., when shopping or getting robbed. The AI GM tried, but it errored. You've used 94% of your session limit. We're going to run out of that. And right at the 2-hour mark, look at that. Cool. Okay, so the idea that I run out of usage over the course of like 2-ish hours appears to still hold. So yeah, so reinforced that want to bump this food here. Look at that great timing. All right, so I need to bump whatever my Anthropic plan is. See you next time where a bunch of this stuff is going to be fixed and I might have